Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Mortal Kombat 2021. So, yeah, a little bit of a surprise for you guys here, though I guess not really much of one, because I did mention when I reacted to the trailer that I would be reacting to this. Um, so, due to various factors, I wasn't able to do more than one movie this week, so I decided to push back more donation awards till next week. We'll try to do two if we can next week, but at least one. Um, but I wanted to get to this. I didn't want to wait. I didn't want to hold off. And so I was trying to find the movie via my normal means, and I couldn't. So I found a bit of a loophole to avoid paying HBO Max's $15 monthly fee. Because it's like I have it, but I don't want to pay $15 if I don't have to. Apparently, if you start a free trial on Hulu, you can also add in a week free trial on HBO Max. And you don't pay anything. Excuse me. You don't pay anything for that first week. And you can cancel at any time. If you cancel before the free trial is up, you just don't pay anything. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing this literally just to watch this movie. Because I won't use HBO Max for pretty much anything else. I don't watch stuff on there typically. So I literally created a account, a free trial for both Hulu and HBO Max just to be able to watch this today. Just so I didn't have to wait whoever knows how long. Especially because of spoiler reasons. Don't want to get spoiled. So let's get into talking about this. So this is the second, or technically third, try at a live action movie for Mortal Kombat. There were two movies in the 90s that were mixed. The first one was, in my opinion, good. I enjoyed the first one. But the second one, Annihilation, no one likes. No one likes Annihilation. It's so bad. But this one is supposed to be a lot more true to the games in terms of both story and in terms of, well, being Mortal Kombat. If you know anything about Mortal Kombat, you know its entire thing is being bloody and violent and gory and whatnot. Like one of the big, like, notable pieces of history of gaming is about the entire thing about parents trying to stop Mortal Kombat because of how violent and bloody and gory it was. Like, that was a big deal when that was going on. And ever since, the games have evolved and grown and gotten some great stuff involved with its story and its characters. And I've been a fan for pretty much as long as I can remember. I just always really enjoyed the games. The more recent games have done great with the story and characters and introducing some new ones into the fold. And I'm really excited to see where this movie goes, because from what I've heard, it's actually supposed to be really accurate, according to what they said. Like, they said they wanted to make it really accurate to the game's storyline. They're going to include, from what I've also heard them say, plenty of fatalities, plenty of blood and gore. They're not going to hold back. Because the original 90s movie, even the first one, which again, as I said, I think was actually pretty good, was PG-13. It technically had deaths in it, but they weren't Mortal Kombat deaths. They weren't bloody and violent and gory Like, in the original one, for example, you see Sonya snap Kano's neck with her legs. It's awesome. It's cool. But there's no violence or blood and gore in there. There might have been a tiny little bit of blood in the original movie, but it was very minor, if there was. And Annihilation, we're just not going to talk about that. But, so what do I know more going into this film? Well, I know a couple of the actors, like Hiroyuki Sanada as Hanzo Hasashi, Scorpion. Um, and I know some of the characters that are in it just from the trailer and whatnot, such as Melina and whatnot. I don't know, like, I assume I know what the story they're going for is, just because I do know the story. Um, the only thing that's kind of a wild card for me is there's this original character added in, which, I mean, the Mortal Kombat games add in characters all the time, so it's not like completely out of the question to have an original character here. Um, I'm just, I don't know what they're gonna do with him. I don't know what his role is gonna be. I don't even know why he's needed, to be honest, because it's like you could easily tell a story with the characters we already have. So I don't know what his role is gonna be, and I don't know. I know he's the, from what I can tell from the trailer and whatnot, he's the main character, but that's about all I know. Like, in terms of the film, like, I don't know if he's going to be there for the long run. If he has a, like, again, I just don't know the character, and with not knowing the character, I can't like connect him to this overall story, this overall world, and the other characters even. We're just going to kind of have to see. Now, I've only seen the first trailer as well. I know there was another trailer, and then there was also like the first 7 minutes of the film that was officially released ahead of time. I don't like it when movies do that kind of thing. It's like, just wait for the movie to be released. Don't release 7 minutes ahead of time. Don't tease people like that. I've never been a fan of. I don't like how a lot of trailers for movies and shows and games nowadays show too much in the first place. I think trailers should be shorter and show a lot less. uh, but yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what, I believe his name is Cole. I'm interested to see what Cole's role in this series or in this movie is going to be. I'm interested to see all these characters we know and love, from Scorpion to Sub-Zero to Melina to Jax. And I'm hoping that this is just a fantastic film. Um, Even if not like the best film ever, like, it has potential to be one of the best video game adaptations. Right up there with the likes of Detective Pikachu for me. And I think that we should just get this started because I don't know what else to say. So, when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the movie. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, before I get to everything else, I want to kick this off, these afterthoughts, by saying what I didn't like about this. Because there are a couple things that I feel could have been done better. And the main one is Scorpion, Hanzo Hasashi. The opening scene shows Scorpion, Hanzo, as his kind of backstory and everything. Shows Bihan attacking and killing him and his family. And it's a fantastic scene. I love the scene. I loved the action in it. But then for most of the rest of the movie, we do not see him at all. We see a couple brief, very brief glances at him through Cole kind of having these visions. And we don't see or hear anything from him again until the end, when he comes in to get his vengeance on Bihan. And it's disappointing. Like, the movie is very much advertised on Scorpion versus Sub-Zero. The movie is very much advertised on that rivalry. And even the poster shows Scorpion and Sub-Zero's faces. Like, it's very much advertising it as a movie centering around that plot line. And yeah, it was definitely still important, with Cole being a descendant of Hanzo Hasashi. But at the same time, I just wish he had more to do in the actual film. And part of it, yeah, is because he is one of my favorite, if not my favorite character from Mortal Kombat. So yeah, part of it is that I just would like to see more of him here. But part of it also is just he felt wasted. Hiroyuki Sanada, such a great actor, did a great job, but he felt like he just wasn't in enough of the film. And I know they had Cole as the main character, and this is more about like following the storyline of our defenders of Earthrealm getting their powers, getting their preparedness for the tournament and everything. It was centering on that, but it's like, again, it's the advertising and the way it's just been set up to like focus so heavily on Scorpion versus Sub-Zero, and it's just not as prevalent as I would have liked. Another issue is that there's a lot of characters in here, and a lot of them outside of the core main group are literally there just to die. And yeah, in the situation of Mortal Kombat and everything, and knowing about this series, it's like, yeah, of course, that's kind of what you want to see. But at the same time, it's like, I wish they delved a little more into these characters. Because some of them are such interesting, fascinating, and well-handled characters in the games. And it felt, I don't know, like they just didn't go into as much of them as I would have liked. The big ones being Goro and Melina. Like the other ones, like I like Cabal and everything. And I think they did him justice here in terms of his personality and character and moves and everything. But he's not like a massive character in the franchise, all things considered. But Goro and Melina very much are. Goro is one of the like most popular antagonistic characters of the franchise, without question. And Melina is extremely popular amongst fans. They really get a kick out of her, fair enough. And to see neither of them really gone into in this film. They mention Goro being the prince of the Shokan, but they don't go into any more detail about him or the Shokan in general or anything else. They don't even mention anything about Melina, about her being a combination of Kitana and the Tarkatan cells and everything. How she's basically a clone of Kitana mixed with a Tarkatan. They don't go into that shit. They don't go into pretty much anything with her. And I think part of the reason for that being is that they didn't include Kitana in the film. By not including Kitana in this movie, Melina just doesn't really fit here, in my opinion. And don't get me wrong, I like what they did with her. The actress did great, and I love the effect on the mouth, even if that was really could have been in more than film as well. That there was very little of the actual like Melina mouth in this movie. Um, I just feel like she didn't need to be here. They could have gone with another character. It didn't need to be Melina. And there's definitely ways within this universe to bring them back. So it's possible we could get more Melina. It's possible we could get more Goro. It's possible we could get Noob Saibot as the resurrected Bihan. It's very possible. But I don't know. I just feel like for this movie, without any guarantees of a sequel as of now, it just feels like some of these characters were a little wasted. And my final issue with this film is Cole. Cole is unnecessary. He didn't need to be in this film. They did not need to have him at all. He's an original character, a descendant of Hanzo Hisashi, and that's fine. That's all well and good. But honestly, his role in the movie did not need to be like this. Like his role in the movie did not need to exist. He could have been basically replaced as the main character by Liu Kang or someone else. It's just it felt unnecessary. Nothing he did in the film even made it feel like it was like they really needed him at all. And most of his lines, most of his actions, most of the stuff we see him do is honestly very, very generic. He doesn't come across as especially interesting as a character. Like even his skill there with the armor and the weapons and all, it's cool, but it's nothing particularly exciting for this series, for this franchise. And that's just a little disappointing. He just didn't have any real impact. And it's not the actor's fault. The actor did fine. The actor did great. It's just the character just felt so unnecessary and pointless. And it kind of makes me confused as to why they felt they needed to make him, to create this character and bring him into the series instead of just focusing solely on the characters we have. I don't think they did his character justice enough to make him feel like a true part of this franchise. I'm not saying I didn't like him, and I'm not saying that I felt he was a bad character, just that he just didn't feel necessary, that he just didn't feel like he really belonged there. That's all. Um, but outside of those things, I really enjoyed this. There was a lot of good fun to be had, a lot of great fatalities we got to see of multiple different kinds. They did not skimp on the blood and gore. They did not skimp on the language, on anything. It definitely felt in that way like Mortal Kombat. And again, seeing some of the same moves and fatalities and specific things from the games make it into this film. Like, of course, when they like say like fatality or flawless victory, it's like, oh yeah, nod to the games, yeah, haha, fun. That's what those felt like for sure. But when they actually show the moves, it feels a lot better. It feels like a lot more of a natural integration of the game, the gameplay, the video games, just story and characters and moves and stuff. It feels more natural as an integration into this film. Such as when Kung Lao does the buzzsaw fatality with his hat, such as when Shang Tsung sucks the soul out of Kung Lao, or when you see Scorpion breathe the fire and all of that. It's like these are moves that you recognize, moves that you understand, and it's just it allows you to it feels natural in its execution there. Um, I like the portrayal of all of the characters we know and love. especially in the main group. Uh, Kano is fantastic. This actor did a fantastic job at Kano. I like the portrayal of Raiden and Kung Lao and all of them, really. I had no real issues with any portrayals in this film in terms of how the actors represent the characters from the games. None of them felt out of place. None of them felt wrong. And I really like that. The effects were great too. They weren't the best. There were a couple effects that were a little off at times, but the effects for the most part were really good. Um, and I just really feel like storyline wise, it definitely followed Mortal Kombat really well. We got these beats and we got this information, and honestly, compared to the original one from the '90s, the original movie, this feels like it definitely gets Mortal Kombat a lot more. And the original '90s movie was good, and it did definitely understand Mortal Kombat to a degree, especially the cheesiness of it. But this one definitely feels like it's just, this feels right for the most part. Again, there's a couple of issues there, but this feels like a true live action Mortal Kombat movie and what it should be. And so I'm really glad that the people who made this seem to have a clear picture at the series in general, allowing them to make this feel like a true live action adaptation of this franchise. So this could go a lot of different ways with the sequel. We're already teased with Johnny Cage. We already have Shang Tsung having escaped, and already teased the idea that death is another portal, basically teasing that the guys he had, the how would you put it, followers, associates, but they can be brought back. It's very much teasing at that, very much hinting at that. Um, and I would love to see again the likes of these characters be brought back, especially like Bihan as Noob Saibot this time, and having it introduce Kuai Lang as the new Sub Zero, working with our heroes. That would be a good thing to go for next for sure. Um, and on top of that, there's just so many other characters, like I had mentioned in this franchise. There's so much they could do. I mean, hell, I didn't expect Natara of all characters to be in this. Who the fuck remembers Natara? I mean, I remember Natara, but then again, I like I've played these games a lot, and I don't even remember everything about Natara. But it's like there's so much that I feel like just really worked here, and overall, I think it was a very, very good film. It was enjoyable. It was true to the games for the most part, and it was handled very well. It definitely felt like a proper adaptation with all the fatalities, with all the characters introduced. And I can't wait to see if they do another one, what they do next. And if they don't do another one, I'll be maybe a little disappointed, of course, but I think that this can stand on its own still. Even though it definitely sets up for more, I still feel like it doesn't require another necessarily, like to truly be good. There's a lot of movies out there that set things up, and actually it's like, okay, you need to see like where the sequel would go to really get a grasp of this film. But this isn't one of those. I feel I think the main focus of the story, the main beef of it, is really kind of completed here. So anything more they do after this point would be just kind of building off from that. And another fun thing I noticed watching this is we didn't even technically have the Mortal Kombat tournament. Like, we didn't actually have the tournament. All of this was Shang Tsung and his soldiers, let's call them that, trying to rig the tournament, basically, trying to fix it so that Earthrealm wouldn't stand a chance once the tournament actually starts. They were attacking before the tournament. So, and even at the end, Raiden is having them search for more champions for the tournament. So it's just kind of funny to me that we didn't even actually have the Mortal Kombat tournament in this film. It focused more on the presentation of the characters and the action than actually getting with the full stakes on it. But I am very, like I said, I am very interested to see if this goes anywhere in the future. I really hope it does. It's going to depend on how much people end up liking this. I haven't heard what anyone has thought yet. I mean, it just came out today. But there's a couple reviews already up on YouTube. I do know that. Like Jeremy Johns has his review up. But yeah, I'm very, very excited to see what comes of this. And I'm glad that I could react to it. So tell me in the comments below, what did you think of the 2021 Mortal Kombat film? And thank you so much for continuing to tune in and support the channel. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.